It's pizza time.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pass the Controller podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes it's just the two of us. Either way, we had a great show for you. I don't know why I said that. We had a great show for you tonight. Joining me, and the only one joining me tonight is the one and only Martini Mike. Some may call him the anime senpai, Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
You know me. I just be pooping.
Okay. Pizza time is apt, by the way, because I did have pizza for dinner. So
There you go.
it was indeed pizza time tonight. But if you're watching now or if you're just listening to the intro, like I just said, I forgot that I already just said this. Tonight, it's just me and Mike doing a quick little thing, rolling right in.
You never introduced yourself, I don't believe.
And do I matter? Did I not say my name?
Not that you. I don't think you did.
Well, if you don't know, now you know. I, of course, am your host, Brenden Groom, and Michael is joining me this evening as we rock a very rare Wednesday fucking 10:30 p.m. banger of a mini episode. Not so mini in content, but probably mini in length or shorter in length than our normal I say this now, and then it'll be like.
I hope Todd pops in and just like complains about something. For the next
I mean,
45
that's all it will take, and I will preface this now because I did just make a very clean, very simple two-person layout. Our cameras are nice and big, Mike. We're glowing right now. It's fantastic. So if anyone else joins in, it's gonna go. I don't even know what's gonna happen to the screen. So if you happen to be someone that's watching this live or watching this later on YouTube, where you can also watch the show, I don't know. You're in for a treat, I guess, a visual treat if that happens, and a visual treat if it doesn't happen because it looks pretty clean right now. We look pretty good, Mike. I'm not gonna lie. The light, the color, the color levels from our lights. We're looking good. We're looking real tasty. We're looking like it's pizza time. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. So we're going to talk about Visions of Mana, spoiler free. So I'll say this up front.
By we, it's gonna be Brenden.
Mike's not going to say anything. I reviewed Visions of Mana. I had the chance to play Visions of Mana. There are going to be 2 Pass the Controller episodes about Visions of Mana. This will be one of them. This will be my review shortened with no spoilers. I recorded another episode earlier this evening with friend of the show, Lucas White, who also reviewed Visions of Mana for Kotaku, and we chatted about the game for about an hour. I will put that episode up a few days after this episode, so they'll both be available, a shorter, this more concise one with no spoilers, and then a more spoiler-filled. We're still not super heavy on spoilers, but we do talk about the game more freely, certain story beats and stuff. So if you're want to avoid those things, this is your review from us. If you want to dive into those things, you can check out that episode with Lucas either before or after you play Visions of Mana. So before we hop into that, a couple other quick housekeeping things. There are plenty of ways to support the show. The easiest way to do that and the freest way to do that is to leave us a quick 5-star review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show, leave us a quick 5-star review. It's super, super beneficial. It continues to help us grow the show, grow the platform. So if you can take a few moments to do that, it would be wonderful. As a reminder, as I already said, we do record the show live every week at twitch.tv/passcontroller, so you can catch the live show whenever we do that. If for some reason that doesn't work in your schedule, but you still want to watch the show, we do put those videos up on YouTube after, so you can watch the VOD over there if that's your jam. We're on every podcast platform. If you're engaged with us some way, you know we exist somewhere. So there's all that. If you want to see more of what we do, write video game cocktail recipes, whatever stuff we're making out there, you can go to passthecontroller.io and get all of that delicious content in one place with links out to the things where they exist, whether it be YouTube, podcast platform, wherever it may be. But I guess we can just hop right into Visions of Mana. So off the bat, I'll just say I had some mixed feelings about Visions of Mana, but I overall came down on a positive side of that, and I landed on a 7 out of 10. I think that there is a really fun gameplay combat loop that kept me sort of engaged the entire playthrough. It was like 40-ish, 45 hours maybe for me to see it through. It would have been much longer if I did a lot more side content, but I really enjoyed the combat. I think one of the things Lucas and I, in our longer review, both sort of landed on was that this really is a fantastically deep action RPG that does a lot of interesting things. If you like to mess around with class systems, I think that this game has a very interesting usage of class systems built around vessels, elemental vessels. Throughout the course of the game, you'll unlock, different ones. You start with a few, and you'll continue to progress through the story and get more. And as you're doing that, it allows some freedom within your party to change people's class, and when you change people's class, well, change their element type, and when you change their element type, it changes the class associated with it. And it not only does it allow you to some freedom within your party to do that, but the other interesting thing that it does when you do that is it opens up another, it's called the elemental plot, which is like the skill tree for each class. If you unlock things on those nodes for each class, whichever class you have currently equipped in the vessel slot, you still get to keep access to those either abilities, passive or active, different spells, or whatever it may be. You get access to that stuff still, so you can really flesh out your characters in your party in interesting ways and find the kind of combos and mashups that work for you and your playstyle. It kind of left me in a point where I had two of my main characters, Val and Morley, the Catman. Yes, Mike, you can be a Catman in this game. So if you needed a selling point, you can be a Catman named Morley. He happens to be a badass. One of some of his classes where he has 3 knives, he holds one of those knives in his tail. So kind of a badass. Just saying. If you needed a reason to pick up Visions of Mana, but Val and Morley were two people that I kept probably the most. I still kept them usually on one certain vessel unless I needed to change it up for certain boss fights or something. But I usually kept them on. Morley was almost always on the water elemental, and Val I switched between 2 different ones. But I kept them a little more well-rounded, so that they had access to a lot of things I needed. And they were primarily always in my party. And then the other person kind of swapped throughout the game for me, but I left those other characters a little more kind of locked into specific element roles so that they were like fully juiced up. But as I kept going deeper into the game, you'll have enough experience points if you're doing certain things to flesh out those trees more too. So everyone became a little more well-rounded later in the game. But before I talk more about this, is a really weird way to break this up, but I guess break up some of my talking. Have you ever played a Mana game, Mike? I think I know the answer, but I'm just going to ask anyway.
I'm pretty sure no, unless I'm forgetting something, but nothing's coming to mind. Doesn't strike me as something I would have ever made an effort to play.
It would primarily be something with Mana in the title. So if you've played Secret of Mana, Trials of Mana,
I've heard these titles being mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played them.
Yeah. No, that's fair. The original games were not called Mana. I think they were called Final Fantasy Legend. They were initially a spin-off of Final Fantasy. The original, I think 3 games were all maybe Final Fantasy in the title. But I guess I should have said this at the beginning. This was my first Mana game. I've been familiar enough with the Mana series, but I've never actually played a Mana game, and I do think there's value in someone who doesn't have a rich history with the series to see is this something worth playing if you don't have that connection, and I certainly think so. I do think that the game has some issues that are not fun, not great. I think I think one of the bigger things for me is that I didn't love the story. I think that the story had some opportunities to do some interesting things, and it had some opportunities to it laid the groundwork for some stuff, but it sort of didn't flesh out certain things that I kind of would have liked to see more of. I think there was a lot left to be desired in that department. It wasn't bad overall. It just, I think there were some things that maybe could have, gone a little bit deeper. I think that these characters are all, interesting designs and have cool things about them, but I don't think you get to really go too deep on their motivations, on their personal life or struggles or what have you. And not that I needed the game to be that, but I think in certain points it does sort of hint or look at things, but doesn't really divulge deeper into them. Like Morley is an earlier character that you get in the game. He's the cat guy. I think he has some interesting stuff. He's probably one of the characters that you get the most out of their sort of personal story. But even then, I don't. It wasn't anything like. I don't think that's going to resonate with me and leave a mark on me and have me thinking about it. And the game doesn't need to have that. Games don't need to have that. But it would have been nice because I did like, this. I like the world. I like the kind of the bigger pieces at play. I just it wasn't a home run for me. I think it left me wanting more. And then the other thing I think that was one of the bigger kind of knocks for me was I do think this game is a little unevenly paced. It has some weird pacing, not in necessarily. It's not just in like the storytelling itself. I think it's just the game itself has some weird pacing. So, you might be in chapter 1 for a very long time, and then like all of a sudden now it's chapter 2, and then maybe chapter 2 is really short, and then you're in like it doesn't seem to really frame the chapter breaks of the game in a specific way. It kind of just like, now you're in this chapter now, so it kind of left me guessing of like where, like progress wise, like what am I progressing? What is the like? I don't know. It was a weird way to market in that way. But then I think just on a more granular level, there'd be a cutscene with stuff going on, and then it would break the cutscene back to control with you, and it would just be for you to like walk to the other edge of the town to talk to someone else and initiate a new cutscene. And I don't know, some of those things happen pretty frequently, and I'm like, I maybe it could have just been a cutscene. I don't think I needed you to make me walk from point A to point B within this town, because it's not like I was doing anything else. I wasn't like, you weren't exploring, looking for chests or items or talking to other townspeople. You were just going from point A to point B, and it seemed a little unnecessary. And it happened frequently enough where I was like, this is kind of annoying. But to bring up another thing that Lucas and I kind of talked about was that this game does. This is a really weird thing for me to say out loud. This game does vibes really well. Like if you were to look up, like go into your search browser of choice and just type in Secret of Mana Super Nintendo box art, or however you want to phrase that. And I think this game is so beautiful, and it captures like the feeling of that box art and the box art of multiple Mana games.
Like just like the big tree.
Yeah.
Looks like that,
Yeah, it's just like that visual style, the colors, like that palette. It really, really just captures that really well. And it was just a joy to be immersed in that for, the 40 hours that I was in it. The characters have cool designs. I like the world a lot. The sky in this game is just absurdly, unnecessarily gorgeous almost all the time. Like it was so gorgeous that I was like just stopping and looking up anytime I went to a new area. Like it made no sense that the sky was as gorgeous as it was in this game. Like it was a very pleasurable environment to kind of exist in for a bit, which is another thing that I think makes me wish I had something more connective with me personally about the story of the game, because I did like existing in this game. I did like playing as these characters. The moment to moment gameplay, especially when you're in combat, is very fun. Like I think the combat in this game is the standout for me. It's the reason to play it. It was great to be there and have fun with my party. I just wish I cared about them more. Like I like Morley's story. I probably like Morley more than I do because he's also a Catman. Maybe if he wasn't a Catman, I wouldn't like Morley as much. But I mean, he is a Catman, so that's who he is. That's part of him. I don't know. I like this game, even though I'm harping on certain stuff a little bit. I do think that in a stacked year full of a lot of great games, a lot of great RPGs, I think that this is still something worth playing if you want this type of experience. Like I think the combat is very fun. I think that it is fun to mess around with party composition. I think it's fun to mess around with how the vessels function. I think there's more depth and nuance to the combat than you might expect based on what you see or play. I know there was a demo out for at some point. I don't know if the demo was a timed thing. I don't know if the demo's gone now, but I think if that demo is still up and you want to get a taste of what this game is, I think you should give it a shot if you're hesitant to pull the trigger, because I do think that there is an enjoyable experience there. I, for one, had one. I think a 7 out of 10 is nothing to shake your fist at. I think it's a solid experience. It didn't blow me away. It wasn't mediocre. I think it kind of nestles itself in a very comfortable, enjoyable experience that I'm curious to see. For me, as someone who has never played a Mana game, I think it worked. It got me interested. At the end of the day, when I rolled credits, when I was done with the game, I was like, okay, yeah, no, I should probably play Secret of Mana. I should probably see what this series has to offer me, because some people really do love Secret of Mana, a few other games in the series. So I think it did its. It gave me an enjoyable experience. It also made me more intrigued to dive deeper into the series and see what I've been missing all these years. I think that I'd be curious to see when this comes out on August 29th, to see what more people think about it, to see what more people who are fans of the franchise have to say about it, and if it resonates with them, because obviously, a new game in a 30-year, legacy of a series, there are going to be people that have expectations, have certain things they're looking for or want or expect or hope. So there's a lot of things to juggle there. I can say, again, as somebody who is an outsider to the series, I enjoyed my time with it. I'll stand by my 7 out of 10. I think it's a worthy play if you are looking for an action RPG that is gorgeous to look at. It ran really well. I played it on PlayStation 5 in performance mode. I didn't really notice any hiccups or issues. It still looks gorgeous to me. I think that it is I think it's something to enjoy if that's your cup of tea. But I don't know. Did I sell you on it, Mike? I wasn't trying to sell you on it, but it is action RPG in a gorgeous world with potentially a Catman as one of your party members. Does that do anything for you? Does it make it move?
No, not really. And in your defense, it's not that you sold it poorly. It's that I was not genuinely paying attention.
And that's fair. That's fair. I mean, listen. I don't blame you.
I'm playing a lot of other games. I'm not even playing a lot of other games, but I think if I'm going to play an RPG, I need to kind of put my focus on beating P3 Reloaded as opposed to throwing another thing into the mix.
Listen, and that's fair. Again, it worked out that I could play this and review it in advance, and it fit into my schedule, and it was a pleasurable experience. Not everyone's got 40 hours hanging around that they can drop whenever they need to. But, yeah, I don't know. 7 out of 10. If you want full, deeper thoughts with some slight spoiler discussion, like I said, this is episode 434 of the Past Control podcast. Episode 435, which will also come out later this week, will have some more spoilers, deeper conversation. We talked for a bit. We talked for like an hour about Visions of Mana. So, among a few other things, but mostly about Visions of Mana. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Definitely go check out Visions of Mana for yourself if you think it's something of interest to you. And definitely go read Lucas White's review over at Kotaku, because I said this on that episode when he was there, and I'll say it when he's not there. I think he's one of the best writers out there. I love reading Lucas's work, and I think that you would too. So you should definitely go check it out. I'll put if I remember, I did it for the episode that he is on, but if I remember, I will also put a link to his Kotaku review in this description as well, so you can check it out if I'm not a dummy dumb, and I do remember to put that in the show notes. But anyways, thank you to Square for sending us over a Visions of Mana code so we can check that out. What about you, Mike? What have you been playing? Anything? What are you playing anything recently?
I think I recently popped back into P3R.
Okay. You getting ready for the answer? Is that why you're trying to get there?
I'm just trying to beat the game. I had stopped playing it largely because of my computer issues, because I was playing it on PC through Game Pass, and like because my computer keeps crashing, I'm like, all right, let me just start playing this on Xbox now. So I've just been trying to get through that. It's weird because of, I don't know. I think just because of the way the game is structured in comparison to Persona 5. Persona 5 that like is throwing me off. Because Persona 5, you go in there and they give you deadlines. They're like, hey, listen, beat this palace by this day. Like, this is your deadline to finish all this stuff. And granted, my first playthrough through Persona 5, I didn't know what I was doing. So, like, I was using all of that time to get through the palace. My second playthrough, once I understood what was going on, and, like, once I, like, optimized, I don't know, whatever it was I was picking up, I don't know. It was easy for me to, like, get through a palace in a day, and then the rest of the time, my free time, to, like, max out stats. In this game, it's sort of similar in that I can get to the barrier of whatever in Tartarus, and then I have to like twiddle my fucking thumbs. Like, I don't know when you're gonna force me to go back here and complete this section.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a more widespread thing, because when I started playing Persona 3 Portable on my Vita before all of this, before Reload and before they ported Portable to modern consoles, I never finished it still, but I ran into the same problem. Which is it a problem? I don't know, but I ran into the same thing where I would hit that barrier of Tartarus and I'd be like, oh, okay, now I got to burn a bunch of time. And I know a friend of the show, Jesse Vitelli, who also just recently, like last week, I think, finished Persona 3 Reload for the first time playing Persona 3. I think at least towards the end, I don't know if it was his whole playthrough, he was at the same, like, okay, what am I supposed to do with my time now? I'm waiting for the game to tell me go back to Tartarus. And he kept making the joke of, like, you know, Yukari or whoever, one of the other characters would be like, we should go to Tartarus tonight. And he's like, no, we shouldn't. We can't do anything there. There's nothing for me to do unless we can progress. He's like, shut up.
I had gotten through some section of Tartarus, and like the game is structured weird to me in that, like, apparently during that section of time, a couple of characters were available to me. Like, they weren't lost by a barrier per se. Like, just at a certain time they were available. So I had already beaten a section of Tartarus, and I was waiting for like the boss I had to play, but those characters were available to me. So I legit the next time I went to Tartarus to fight the boss, I didn't even know what those guys fucking did. I just
Interesting.
showed up, was like, "Hey, listen, you can use these guys now." Oh, cool, I guess. And
I
like the other problem I was having with the game was just that, at least for those first couple of sections, I guess you'd call it. Once I figured out, okay, these shadows. Wait, what are they called in this game? They're not called shadows in this, right? Are they?
no, I think they have a name, but they're not. I don't think it's shadows.
Yeah, whatever. The things you fight in this game, you figure out what they're weak to, and the problem is a lot of times it's like, oh, okay, they're weak to ice. I figured that out. I've got a persona that has ice powers, so it just becomes it becomes a hassle that basically it's just me knocking everything down to do an all-out attack. I think I would have had at this point now my because I've got other party members, it's easier for me to be like, all right, let me get these guys in the mix. So that way it's not me burning through all my SP to knock down things to do an all-out attack. But for the first few sections, it was just what I explained.
Yeah. Persona 3 Reload has been this thing on my brain all year where it's like it came out in between Infinite Wealth and 7 Rebirth because I played and reviewed Infinite Wealth. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to Persona 3 now. I'm super excited for this. Then I got a code for Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth to review, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm not playing Reload. And then it felt like immediately after, I don't know when the actual timeline was, but before I could even debate going back to Reload, I got a code for Unicorn Overlord. So it was just like I went from very long RPG to very long RPG to very long RPG, and then I feel like I've reviewed something after that too. Let me look at the website. We did that. Oh, it must have been, when was PAX? End of April? Beginning of April? End of March?
I think it was either the beginning or end of April.
It must have been the beginning or last week of March or something, because this post is from March 28th. So yeah, it must have been last week of March or something. So yeah, I went, then we went to PAX, and then I don't know. It just didn't happen. Sorry, Persona. Other things just kept getting in the way. I need to figure out if there's an actual way for me to knock that out before the year is over, because there are
You popping that backbone, boy.
well, I maybe I should do that. Maybe that's what I should do. I mean, that's how I did play a portion of Visions of Mana, was on my backbone, and it was great. No complaints. So maybe I'll do that to get some progress there, because there are a lot of other beefier games that are coming out very soon from right now that if I don't strike very soon, very swiftly, very, very pointed, I'm going to miss that window, because Metaphor's on the horizon, Zelda's on the horizon, Mario and Luigi's on the horizon. All those are going to be beefy boys. Dragon Quest HD 2D, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. All of those are going to be some beefy boys. So got to make that. I'm still trying to get through Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. This is the year of RPG for me. I'm playing so many RPGs in a single calendar year.
It's not RPG. I just remember that I bought Princess Peach Showtime. Like, I definitely own that game.
That's a game. It's probably short. I didn't finish it. I enjoy what I played.
Now remember, I also own Mario Wonder. I don't think I've
that you should finish. I like that game a lot. Wait, you never started Mario Wonder?
I started it.
Okay.
I know I started it.
Did you not enjoy it?
If I recall correctly, I started it and it was fine, and like I was trying to figure out like when I was gonna play it, and then I just straight up misplaced my Switch for like 2 months.
Okay. Well, speaking of Mario, I wonder what Nintendo was up to this week. Oh, that's right. They had a dual direct, Mike. They had an Indie World followed immediately by a partner direct, which I don't know if do they normally sandwich, like make a direct sandwich like that. I don't know if they've done that before, but
I don't know. Let me just ask up front. People are wondering. Switch 2 announcement?
out of the direct.
Yes.
Seeing as how that they were upfront saying it was an Indie World and partner direct, that should be the answer for you. But if you need me to say it, I don't know. I guess you got to wait, listen to this whole episode, and find out if we talk about the Switch 2.
I believe the whole thing was that they had to go on Twitter like, "Hey, here we're doing these directs. We're not talking about the Switch 2."
Yeah.
I think they had to like.
I think for the last few directs, they have specifically said we're focusing on this, this, and this. There will be no talk of a Switch successor or whatever. I think they've done it for the last few, but I mean, I'll let you say first because I have my opinion, but let's just treat them as a single direct.
Oh shit!
Oh, is that the Disney daddy
shit.
himself popping in?
The boy.
I can stay off camera so that it doesn't fuck the cameras up.
I mean, you could do whatever you want. If you want to hop it, you can. I can fix it.
Well, I can stay off camera.
Okay. We got a first time caller, long time caller, first time listener in a long time. Anyways, the Disney daddy himself is swung in just in time to talk about the Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Directs.
What is your scorecard, Mike? What do we got here? What are you thinking? We'll treat them as a singular direct. Yeah. What are you gonna throw that?
Singular direct. Perfectly mid. Give it a 7 out of 10, baby. Let's go.
Okay. All right.
That was mid 7 out of 10. Wouldn't mid be 5 out of 10?
I don't see why you're questioning me about this.
Yeah. That's the Mike scale. What about you, Dom? Where are you falling on this? What's your grade here?
I didn't hate it. I will say that it does seem like we're in a spot where we are getting a lot of like older game, like not necessarily even ports, but like just like older games brought back.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a lot of the partner showcase was that.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily hate it because like I want to be able to play Power Stone without having a Dreamcast.
Oh, so yes, the Capcom thing. That's a whole different thing for me.
But yeah, I mean, it was
mid 7 out of 10.
It was above mid 7 out of 10.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think that there was some high
Masterpiece,
points.
10 out of 10.
There were some high points. There were some low points for me. Or I don't want to say low points. I just want to say there were some things that really interested me, and there were some things that didn't interest me. And the stuff that was for me, I think were like some bangers. Specifically, the Capcom Fighting Game Collection 2, the fact that Capcom vs. SNK 2 is going to be a thing that I can pop in and play. All the other shit on there is great. Power Stone 1 and 2, Alpha 3, a version of Alpha 3 that I don't think I've ever played. I don't know what that version is.
Blade.
Yeah, Phantom Blade, Power Blade or Phantom Blade. I've never played that game either. So there's some interesting games on there, but then like some all-timers. Capcom vs. SNK 2 is like I think one of the best fighting games ever made, and I'm very, very excited for that to be there with rollback netcode. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That means two. I hope this leads to two things. We already got Capcom Fighting Game Collection 1. We're getting the Marvel vs. Capcom, or just is it Marvel vs. Capcom? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Game Collection. Now we're getting a second collection of fighting games. I hope they keep taking these opportunities to like give us a bunch of things that might be trapped in arcades or on like PS2, fucking Dreamcast. Like, give us all these things that they're available to play now, because I really, there's some bangers and there's some hidden gems out there that I think would get a lot more love today. Also, just that means and Capcom on the Capcom Fighting Collection too. That means you got to give us, like, we could get Street Fighter Tekken back. We could get Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. Like, give us some fucking jams.
It's
back.
gonna be a pull. I was watching a Maximilian Dude video before this, and he was talking about that. I think that's gonna be a tougher. It's easy for him to do these things. I don't know if Tatsunoko is gonna play ball.
I think the Tekken one. I mean, I don't know anything about this. I would assume the Tekken one would be easier to pull off. I don't know how the Tatsunoko rights situation would be. Like, I don't know if it's like multiple companies or like I don't know who. I mean, the fact that that game even exists to begin with is kind of bonkers to me. But I would love to see, even if they just straight up ported that game as a standalone thing that you could buy. I would buy it because it's real fucking good. It's a shame that it's trapped on the Wii. it's a really good game.
It could have been worse. It could have been trapped on the Wii U.
I guess that is.
I don't know. If it was trapped on the Wii U, we would have got a Switch port.
Facts. That's true. Would have been more recent. Would have had a better chance of coming through. But yeah, I mean, that was a banger. I should play more Castlevania games. I'm happy to see more Castlevania games get collected and brought forward. I think this collection is all DS games.
Yes.
Yeah. I know Jesse Vitelli, a friend of the show, was fucking amped. Bought it immediately when it aired. I think it dropped right after the direct. It continues to lend to Dom's point about like a lot of like ports or just games being brought forward. Tales of Grace's F remastered. I don't know anything about Tales of Grace's F, but I do like what I've played of the Tales games, and I think this game was stuck on PS3 only up until this. So I hope that they start bringing more of their trapped Tales games from elsewhere forward, because I think there is definitely an audience for that stuff. I'm never gonna play Yakuza on Switch. I'm happy that it can come to the Switch audience. I think that those games deserve more love, and to get that on the Switch, I think we'll do that. I'm assuming a highlight for both of you was Power Wash Simulator's new DLC.
I did think it was interesting.
It took me by surprise.
Yeah, I know they've done a lot of collabs. I don't know if they've done a collab outside of games yet. I don't know if this is
when they mentioned the swamp early on, I'm like, there's no way this is going to be a fucking Shrek thing. And they were like, oh my god. I'm like, oh, fuck
And
me.
they made you look like an idiot.
I'm looking like a goddamn Farquaad.
So let's see. Oh, no. Okay, Mike, you might have to start getting into fucking Power Wash Simulator.
Listen, believe me, I would do the Back to the Future one.
How did you even know I was going to say that? How did you know that existed?
I knew it existed. I just don't play Power Wash Simulator.
So when I said out loud, I don't think they've done other movies.
He wasn't paying attention.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay,
No,
all right. Though now that this came up very organically, I don't know if you remember this, Mike, because you were a little sauced up. You said Back to the Future was a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm. I stand by that.
I believe you'd stand by it, but I want to follow up. Is this your favorite movie of all time?
I don't know. I don't know if I feel confident saying any film is my favorite film. I feel like if a gun was pointed at my head, at some point I definitely would have said the first Matrix.
Okay. You think this is a top fiver for you?
I think that is fair.
Okay. I feel like it's silly to say is it a top 10?
No, I'm saying it's fair. I feel like part of me wants to analyze things, but I think if I was just going off my gut, I'd be like, oh no, just put it there.
Okay.
Just put it there. I feel like if I try to overanalyze things, I'm just gonna second guess myself and move things around.
Is there another movie off the cuff that you would you would, for your sake, for your fucking dollar, would say is a perfect movie?
I think off the top of my head, it would be Matrix, Back to the Future. And I know at some point I said the first Men in Black. I don't know if I can stand by that, but I feel as though the first Men in Black is actually a really good film.
Okay. Dom,
I think I just have a type, which is just like sci-fi, and then I guess Matrix isn't. Men in Black and Back to the Future are sci-fi comedy.
Yeah.
Matrix isn't. Matrix is more just sci-fi action.
Sci-fi kung fu.
Still good. Sci-fi kung fu, yeah, sir.
Dom, would you agree? Is Back to the Future a perfect movie?
I would say that Back to the Future is a perfect film.
Yeah, it gets the double perfect. Okay,
so where's your stance on this? What are you?
You're not gonna like my stance, Mike. It's too long.
I don't like you.
It's too long. No, I don't. I don't have an opinion. If that makes sense. And I'll follow that statement up with, I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched the movie in its entirety in one sitting. I have definitely seen the whole movie and the sequels. I just don't know if I've ever actually like sat down in one sitting, front to back. Here's this movie. So, I don't know. Maybe at some point that needs to change. Maybe at some point we need to do a Back to the Future PTC movie club. Maybe. Who's to say? But back to the matter at hand. Yeah, I mean, there were some other things. Mike and I were talking before we started recording. On the indie side of the direct, there was a game shown called Peglin.
Yes.
That looks amazing. I don't know how
a very weird concept.
Yes. I don't know how I missed that it was available now. So
my favorite part of the Peglin thing was it is a pachinko inspired game.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's basically Peggle, which I fucking love Peggle. So like this is a no-brainer. Like my Switch is in front of me. I could just open it right now and download it, but I'll be worried that I'll just start playing it for the rest of the time but we're talking. So I don't want to do that. But that's a absolute banger highlight for me. Stuff that we've already seen or known about for a while, like Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX. Like there was a whole Yacht Club Direct. Like this is not anything for me to talk about here unless you have something to say about it. But like, I mean, it's Shovel Knight.
Some of it just seemed like we were getting dates for things that like we had all the information for already besides the date.
Exactly. Metal Slug Tactics is another one that like we've known about for a long time. I can't wait for it. It still only gave a fall 2024 date, and that's fucking basically now. So hopefully we still get that relatively soon because it looks amazing. I've been waiting for it for a while. I cannot wait for that game. Pizza Tower was the one more thing, right, in the Indie Direct?
No. Was it?
I think it was on the indie side. Unless they didn't do one. Regardless, I'm pumped. I've been holding out for a console port like an idiot, even though I already bought it on Steam. I just haven't started it yet because I was like, nah, it'll come to fucking something. It'll come to something. And after this year's Summer Games Done Quick ended, one of the last days of the stream, they did a speed run of Pizza Tower, and I was like watching it. I had it on, but I wasn't fully watching it. I was like kind of taking myself in and out of focusing on it because I didn't want to like spoil the game for myself, even though they were fucking blowing through it. But ever since SGDQ, I was like, fuck, I really do need to play this game. Like this game is a game for me, and I'm being a fucking idiot. I need to fucking play it. And I've been getting so close lately to just popping it on Steam and starting it.
I mean, you could do Steam Remote Play on your phone using your Backbone.
Indie Studio, I think I'm just gonna buy Pizza Tower second time. Why not?
All right.
Fucking hook Pepino up with some Brembino bucks, you know?
Sure thing.
You haven't finished it, right, Mike?
I have not.
Did you finish it, Dom?
I did not. Other stuff just got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you both enjoyed what you've played, right? Like it's a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not. I don't follow through.
I
with
could see
things.
myself falling into the trap of buying it for a second time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the price is, but I'll tell you what. I'm an idiot. So what is the price? I don't know what it costs on Switch. I honestly would have bought it the day of the direct, but silly me was like, oh, let me wait until later in the day. Maybe it'll get announced for Xbox too, and I can just get achievements. And it hasn't, as far as I know. So looks like I'm gonna be dropping another $20 bills. Listen, I could go buy a large pizza for $20, or I could not eat the calories and
In the tower.
get the tower, get the fucking whole tower. I'm excited it's there. I do wonder if this is a bad thing for Anton Blast. Because I think Anton Blast is also supposed to come out soon. So, or maybe it's a good thing. Maybe just you get all that similar audience together, and they're like, oh, I got 2 back-to-back bangers.
I thought you were going to say maybe this will mean we'll get Pepino for Smash, but
I mean, listen, put Pepino in Smash. Pepino in Smash would probably, unfortunately, be an assist trophy. He would be a fucking reckless assist trophy. He would absolutely fuck shit up.
What's the other the indie platform fighting game? The one that has like
the one that has Pepino in it?
Yeah, the one that has Pepino.
Oh, I didn't know he was in it. Not Brawlhalla. Fuck. Not Rivals of Aether.
Brawl Stars?
Oh, maybe it's Brawl Stars. I don't know now.
I think I just looked.
Yeah, just
one with Octodad on it.
Yes.
Fraymakers.
Fraymakers
is what you're thinking of. There is a game called Brawlout, which I think is what you said. It's not that. Fraymakers
it's the
is
one
definitely
with, like, the frog.
Yeah. You know who did music for Fraymakers? Fucking Robbie from Super Soul Brothers.
Oh. Well, that's neat.
Cuisinaire was like a dungeon crawling roguelike where you play as a cat. So I'm already interested in that. It looked cool. It looked interesting. I think those were the highlights for me. Date Everything looked silly. I could see myself messing around with that for a little bit. I was also intrigued by the Annapurna game Morsels. That was another roguelite. Interesting art style. I mean, there was CSR's DLC shown. I mean, we've already known about this was coming out, but I don't know if that did anything for you, Dom, or you just kind of like,
yeah. I'll
take it when it's there. Yeah. I love Balatro, so I'll take any Balatro anything. Is this gonna get you into Balatro, Mike? Now with the Friends of Jimbo free upgrade?
I figured you would go in with. I mean, no.
Well, you figure I would have gone with what?
Well, I was just gonna mention specifically Vampire Survivors.
Well, that's why I was bringing it up, because the Vampire Survivors. But it's the name of the free pack is called Friends of Jimbo.
Yeah.
But
yeah, probably not.
Okay. What if I buy it for you?
Hey, listen, I've got plenty of things in my Steam library that I'm straight up not playing.
Okay. What if I buy it for you on Xbox? You can get achievements.
I could get achievements, or I could put my time into fighting through that fucking multiverses battle pass.
What if I buy it for you on Switch?
We just talked about how I said, hey, here are these games that I own that I forgot to play.
What if I came over to your house and just started dealing cards at you?
I'd like to see you get through the front door.
Challenge accepted. I'm gonna bring so many decks of cards with me tomorrow, Mike. I'm just gonna start randomly throwing cards at you.
That's fine. I'm about to make a name for myself here. Oh, I forgot I fucking put that on a soundboard.
Oh, damn it. Play it if it's not super loud.
Let's see. Can I get to it? I forget where I put it.
Oh, and
it's here.
I didn't bring it up on the podcast, but the Tetris Forever thing is amazing for me personally. I don't know if either of you care about Tetris in that way, but it.
I don't, but I do like the idea of like almost like an all-encompassing like history style version of Tetris.
It is similar to from the same people, Digital Eclipse, that did the making of Karateka. So it's like a similar vibe of like, here's some archival stuff, here's some, interviews and other things. So I love the concept behind it. I love Tetris. I like that there's a lot of silly Tetris games in there, like Hatris is fucking in there. So I can't fucking wait. Like this is absolutely my jam. I'm very excited for this. So, and I think the new version of Tetris that's in there looks fun, where it's like a 4-player and rotates between different versions of Tetris as you're playing. I think that's a very interesting idea. So, I don't know. I thought these were like solid directs. I think that they, especially putting them together as like a double feature that kind of hit, I think had a lot of different things in it that appeal to a wider group of people. So I think if there weren't things in there for you, I don't fucking know. I feel like it was a pretty balanced situation, but I think you were pretty right, Mike. It's a mid 7 out of 10.
Let's go.
But I mean, that's all I got. That's all I got tonight. Anything you want to drop?
How long I've been waiting for this. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
Please make sure people know what happened here.
It's pretty good. I'm surprised you didn't do the other voice line too.
Look, we all know what the main voice line is. It's that one. But
Okay,
listen, I can dig up. I came out my daddy's balls with it.
You should. But anything hot you want to drop on us, Dom, before we wrap things up?
No, I can't think of anything else that I particularly wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Don't talk about the Sonic trailer.
I mean,
What?
we can. Well, I still watched the second movie.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I watched the trailer. I know that Shadow's in there. I had a feeling he was going to be there.
I cannot stress enough. When I saw Sonic 2 in theaters, I saw it like opening day. I forget. I saw it early. If it wasn't opening day, it was like that opening weekend. Seeing Shadow pop up in the after credit scene, I haven't seen people that hyped since Endgame. When fucking they're like, yeah, we have Project Shadow, and they show him the tube, and everyone's like, yo, let's go. And
was it not leaked? Did people not know that he was going to be there, or was it not? Was it rumored? Where like people like, oh, he's going to be there.
I think even when we watched the first Sonic movie, we're like, oh, it'd be cool if Tails showed up, right? I feel like that was like just our mental impression, because like it only advertised Sonic, like, oh boy, if they have a mid-credit scene or an after-credit scene, they should have Tails. I think that was the mindset even going to this film. I don't know if I'll be honest, I wasn't like that in tune. I didn't have my finger on the pulse of the Sonic community. I didn't know what was rumored. I just knew that the movie was coming out. I was gonna go see it. But I could only hope that Shadow would show up, and he did. And here we are.
I hope Knuckles was in the third movie.
Oh, Dom, I'm gonna blow your mind.
It is.
Queue up your Paramount Plus subscription right now.
It is kind of bonkers.
We're gonna watch the show.
That Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves are Sonic characters.
Yeah.
Bro, Jim Carrey was like, no, I'm done with acting. I'm gonna retire. And now he's Dr. Robotnik and a second character, seemingly.
So
yes.
So I was in a Discord call, and Jesse, a friend of the show, Jesse Vitelli, was in there, and he watched the trailer had been out already for a few hours, but he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch the trailer in here with everybody that's in here, and I'll give my live reaction." And, and when he pops up at the end, Jesse goes, he said something like, damn, Sega made... Sega, not only did Sega make Jim Carrey unretire from acting, they made him play 2 characters or something like that. It's just, they made him unretire from acting twice or something like that, and it was very funny. Anyways,
I say what you will about Jim Carrey. He loves Dr. Robotnik, and apparently Dr. Robotnik's dad, Dr. Gerald Robotnik.
Listen, let
Great
Jim
stuff.
Carrey. You get Jim Carrey, Keanu Reeves, and Idris Elba. That's kind of crazy.
It is a stacked cast. I mean, we clowned on Chris Pratt playing Mario. I feel like we were.
Which one of
all
the Chris's is in? Is it Chris Pine that's in Sonic?
I don't think so. Now I'm
Who
trying
was
to
in
think.
the first Sonic? Who was
who's
the
the cop?
human?
Yeah.
Was it James Marsden?
James Marsden.
James Marsden.
Who's
Oh,
not
okay.
one of the Chris's.
Well, yeah.
So that means that that Mario.
He's Chris adjacent. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
It's Chris adjacent.
He's as close as a Chris without going over.
Yes.
That really is true, though. Like, it really is. So that means the only way the Mario movie 2 needs to have James Vanderbeek, right? Like, who's the James they
You
need?
really putting James Vanderbeek in the same tier as James Marsden and one of the lesser Chris's?
I don't know. Is he not? Wait, what's so good about James Marsden? What?
What's so great about James Vanderbeek?
I didn't say anything was. Varsity Blues? I don't fucking know.
Ain't no one going to bat for James Vanderbeek like that.
Except
for,
DJ.
No, it wasn't even DJ.
Request.
Was it Ving? Who was in the Goods?
Oh, yeah.
Was it?
Yes, it was. It was Ving Rhames, right?
Ving Rhames. Okay, I think so.
Jen, are you going to bat for James Vanderbeek? Are you going to bat for James Vanderbeek?
That's such a weird question to be taken like out of context.
Let's see how she responds.
She's so confused.
Okay, no, that is a appropriate response. That makes sense.
Wait, you said what was the second thing you said? She said he's good in Varsity Blues and Rules of Attraction.
Okay, but like, what has he done recently?
Hold on, I'm just gonna pull up his IMDb. Let's
get the.
Do we have a farm now?
I don't know. He's in one episode of Walker, which is a TV show. I don't know what that is.
Yo, that's the new Walker Texas Ranger TV show.
Okay. He's
made that up.
in 69 episodes of Vampirina. He plays Boris. Another TV. He's in 2020's Bad Hair. He's in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Plays himself.
He is.
He's in Pose, which is a good TV show.
Yeah, look, I've got no right to speak because like my IMDb page is like pretty sparse itself, but I gotta say this is kind of weak.
Okay, hold on. Let's type in the other James. James
Marsden.
Marsden.
Yo, he was in Westworld. He was
yeah,
in
but doesn't that show
a
suck,
couple of the-
Mike?
He was in the show Suck. He was in what was the
Wait, hold on.
the Amazon show?
Doesn't Westworld suck?
Yeah, he was in the Jury Duty.
I mean, the Jury Duty. The first season's good, and then like it kind of peters out.
Okay.
And he was mainly in that first season.
So known for, according to IMDb, he's known for
X-Men.
2007's is showing first. 2007's Hairspray. He plays Corny Collins.
Okay.
Followed by X-Men, 2000. Followed by Enchanted, 2007.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was the Prince in
He
Enchanted.
was Prince Edward. And then 2008's
Sugar and Spice?
27 Dresses.
Okay. I mean, they dropped the ball. They didn't put in Superman Returns.
Okay, well,
They didn't put Sugar and Spice.
hold on, Mike. Hold on. You got Unfrosted. I think that's a strike against him.
I mean, if Jerry Seinfeld comes to you and says, "Hey, what's the deal with my movie?" and he like casts you, you're gonna be in that film. Like, okay.
I'm skipping things that don't matter. Let's see. You got Knox Goes Away in 2023. Don't know what that is.
No.
He was in 8 episodes of James Marsden. He was in 8 episodes of Jury Duty. That supposed to be good?
Yeah, we mentioned that.
We definitely mentioned that.
I don't know.
He plays himself.
Jen was yelling too. That was a lot of.
Okay.
You're just saying him because he's in 2 episodes of Party Down.
Also true. He was
the new Party Down or the original Party Down?
The new Party Down.
Yeah.
Because
I still haven't watched the new Party Down.
what's his face? So Lizzie Kaplan wasn't in most of the season, and like the new quote unquote love interest for Adam Scott's character was shit. It was somebody. And like basically whoever it was, they were engaged or were in a relationship with James Marsden. Shit, who was the new female lead? I don't want to say Jennifer Connelly. I don't want to say Jennifer Garner, but I feel like it was a Jennifer.
So, again, I'm not going to bat for James Vanderbeek, nor am I a James Marsden hater.
Mm-hmm.
I just, in my brain, put them on like, they're similar like levels of popularity as like the Mario movie needs a James now. So instead, I just Googled most popular James actors, which was the wrong thing to Google because I'm getting a mix of people that have played James Bond and people that have the name James.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like people that played James Bond and people who starred in pornography. I feel like that's just a solid porn actor name.
So skipping the James Bond actors, you got James Caan, you got James McAvoy.
Not gonna work. Ooh, McAvoy. There we go.
You got James Spader.
Oh, too old.
You got James Brolin.
Okay.
You got James Earl Jones.
I think he's dead. Also old.
You got James Franco.
I think we're not
I don't
doing
think so,
him
yeah.
anymore.
You got James Gandolfini, also deceased.
Also dead.
You got James Marsden. He's in there.
Hey.
James Callis.
Don't know who that is.
James Cameron.
Not
an actor.
Not an actor.
I just said, I did say actors. Okay. James Dean. I'm assuming
think he-
is very
Very
dead.
dead.
Okay.
They're dead.
I was like, this is a black and white picture. I'm assuming this person is not alive. James
My
Garner.
funeral. Make sure my picture's in black and white, guys. I just want to make sure it's in black and white. Use like there's like an old picture of me. Just make it black and white.
James Lafferty. James Purefoy.
I know James Purefoy.
And James Stewart. I'm
Also
assuming is
very
Jimmy Stewart. Is that who that is?
Yes, the guy that was in It's a Wonderful Life.
I need to make sure that I'm picturing the right.
Mary. I got a good.
It's a Wonderful
Mary.
Life voice.
Yeah, I got a good. It's Wonderful Life voice.
Why the money's not here in the bank? It's in his house and in her house.
Mary. Anyways, all right. We weren't gonna play the game, but now Dom's here, so we'll do a quick Metacritic thing, and then we're gonna stop this fucking train wreck of an episode that this turned into, talking about James's. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, new to the show, every week we end the show with a game. The score, and keep track of it on our scoreboard. The scoreboard for the year so far has Dom at 43 in first place, Todd in second at 36, and Mike in third with 31. Because Todd's not here, I texted him anyway. We're going to do the Metacritic game so that Todd can also play along. The way this game works is I pick 3 games. I have the Metacritic store in front of me. We're going to go off of the platform that was the most reviewed, so whatever has the most reviews, and whoever gets the closest gets the point. If someone gets a bullseye, they get double points. Before we hop into those, again, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode 434 of the Pass Control Podcast. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, plenty of ways to support us. Leave us a 5-star review. Follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, at Pass the Controller. You can go to twitch.tv/PassController. You can watch us live there. You can subscribe to us over there. If you can't catch the live show, you can also watch us later on YouTube by just searching Pass the Controller Podcast in that search bar. Anyways, let me get my little pen and paper out. Let me write this down. We got Mike, Dom, and Todd, so I don't lose track of who gets what points. All right. because this is last minute and because we are just going to go off of what we were just talking about, we're going to do Sonic the Hedgehog games.
Oh boy.
So, going off of the... sorry, I'm texting Todd at the same time, and I apparently can't talk and text. Going off of the Xbox 360 reviews scores, because that is the platform with the most, we're going to give me the score for Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
Oh, shit.
Todd locked in a 72 with lightning speed. Mike, what you thinking?
Sonic 06?
Sonic 06, baby.
Sonic 06. That's a 43 if I ever heard one.
Okay. Mike's going to lock in a 43. Dom, what you feeling?
Ask me about my winner.
I also feel like it's pretty low. I would say, I don't know if I would say 43 low. I would say like...
He's still laughing at that.
50 low?
Why?
I've got apparently 3 sounds on my soundboard. Who am I about to make a name for myself in that one, and then a third one?
What's the third one?
Let's.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Okay, that's good too. Why do you have asked me?
Keep getting away with it.
That one's even better that there's a gap in between.
The gap. I know you started talking like I can see that it's not done yet. There's something else at the end.
Oh
of this.
my goodness, that's so good. Why do you have asked me about my wiener? Why did you play it right now?
That I don't have an answer for.
Play it one more time.
Let me get your.
Ask me about my winner.
That's from Accepted?
Yes.
Damn, points on the board for me. You're locking in a 50, Dom?
Yes.
Well, you were so close, but Mike is just a little bit closer. This game has a 46. If we did the PlayStation,
Not my wiener boy.
if we did the PS3 one, Mike would have got a bullseye. Or as we like to call in the biz, bingo.
What is?
I don't know. Next up, we're gonna do we're gonna go back in time a year. And we're gonna do PlayStation 2 review score for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Ooh.
This game was also reviewed and released on the GameCube and Xbox.
I don't remember if people liked this game or not.
He does
I
have a
can't-
gun
Does have a
Does
gun
have a
and a
gun.
motorcycle.
and a
And a
motorcycle.
kill kit.
He's like a cool hedgehog, you know.
All right, Todd definitely has a theme. He picked 72 again.
Listen, it's a strat. I can't.
Is it a strat?
Yeah.
A
In the sense
strat
that,
is like multiple choice. I'll pick B every time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, he's
I'm
locking
not
it.
saying it's a good strategy. I'm just saying like it is a strategy.
Yeah, by definition, it is indeed a strategy. You are correct. What do you get? What do you got, Dom? What do you got for Shadow the Hedgehog, 2005, November 15th?
I'm gonna go 50 again.
Locking in at 50. Is the strat gonna work, Mike? What are you doing, Mike?
I'm thinking, yo, this guy, he's dark, he's edgy, he's the kind of guy that'd be like, yo, 666 is my number. So it doesn't go that high, so I have to go with 66. But that is my headspace.
Okay. Listen, I like that train of thought, but Dom is the closest. He got a 45.
Oof.
The GameCube.
Can I just say the crits were wrong?
Have you played this game?
No.
Okay.
I saw the cover though.
The game, the GameCube 51, Xbox 49. Let's see. the most recent user review from April 10th of this year says, well, we're clicking read more on this one. Clearly none of you have taste. This is the greatest video game ever made. I wouldn't say it's the pinnacle of media, as I have reserved that space for some other things, but definitely the pinnacle of gaming. Shadow the Hedgehog was already this badass character we all needed in our lives. Then Sega released this masterpiece. This There is an insane amount of replayability. 100% completing this game would take forever. That's a good thing. On top of that, the game has those beautiful, shiny PS2 era graphics. Then there's the industrial-inspired soundtrack, including the peak, all caps. That is I Am All of Me. I don't know what that is. Is that a song?
Listen,
Yes,
just
that
finish
is a
reading my
song.
review.
Also, best of all, guns. A couple of asterisks, love guns. I don't know what that word is.
It probably says I fucking love guns.
No, it's not enough. It's not enough asterisks. It
I
is.
fuck guns.
Yeah, I think it is that. Guns are so cool. I love edginess. Heh. Okay. Cool.
Listen, I was
dude.
going through a period of my life.
Yeah, I said, you know what? Running around as a hedgehog is fun and all, but there's one thing that's missing.
Guns. Yo, if Shadow gets a gun, no, if Shadow says guns, I need guns in this new movie.
Shit, Mike. You're onto something. You are onto something.
All right.
If someone says, "Yo, Shadow," people are saying you're back. He says, "Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back," and he cocks a gun.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Movie of the year.
I would also
Criterion
be on board
Collection.
with that. It's not going to happen, but I would be on board. Okay, Todd, switching it up. Final game of the evening is November 8th, 2022's Sonic Frontiers. This is
that the one
on
that-
most major platforms.
Okay, was that the one that looked like it wanted to be Sonic Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to do the PS5 because it has the most. It was also reviewed on the Switch, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
What did Todd say again?
I'm going to do Todd last.
Okay.
What are you guys thinking? What are you thinking, Mike?
Did people like this game? Well, let's just say this. I know people don't like Sonic. I think Sonic fans love Sonic games. Normies, that's what we call you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Normies.
Okay.
You guys can't. You're not hip.
Are you putting your flag in the Sonic camp this way? I didn't know this about
Like,
you.
I feel like Sonic people would have to call other fans like slow pokes or something.
Yes,
That's probably accurate.
that's true. I lost my train of thought. I didn't actually have a train of thought.
slow bros out of here. Get me a chili dog.
Yeah. You see, your Sonic is just like an edgier, angrier Popeye.
What is a chili dog if not hedgehog spinach?
Facts. When Sonic needs to go fast, he eats a chili dog.
Anyways, this is my shadow.
I'm gonna give it I feel like it is
But
edging
Tails is
the
with
70
him.
Fuck. I feel like this is edging a 70, but not quite a 70.
Okay,
Like
so you're edging.
70s. Yeah,
70s nuts.
Yeah, our Sonic guesses are getting kind of sexual, which is unfortunate because I'm going to say 69 is my answer.
Whoa. I mean, Mike, if anything, I've been on Sonic Google search fan art, okay? They
Listen,
they
we
like
all played
it.
the game. We all played the game where it's like you Google your name, the Hedgehog, and see what pops up. Some crazy shit.
Yeah. So we got a 69. We have Todd's 78. What do you think, Mel?
I might legitimately just not
Def-
change my answer and go with a 50.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, Mike, I think you should have went with your gut because you would have got a bullseye. It is a 70.
70?
So Mike gets
Okay.
the point here. It got a 69 on Switch.
Man.
It got a 61 on the Series X. It got a 75 on the PS4. It doesn't have enough reviews, so it's not an aggregate on the Xbox One. And on the PC, it also has a 75.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh boy, yeah, these scores are all over the place for this game. Anyways, that ends the week with Dom got 1 point, so that's a point there. Mike got 2 points, so that's a point there. All right, so it ends the week with Dom still in first with 44, Todd in second with 36, but Mike creeping up in third place with 33. Thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode. We will see you next time.